The Nerlin Nerds podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery Media presents Nerlin Nerds with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the pop culture topics that interest us and those minor details that irritate us.
Well, so it was trying to explain why present day music is so shitty.
Laziness.
Well, but this guy actually presented like an argument. I don't know if that's what like the interview was. The person putting it on TikTok, that was their
point,
angle. This is why modern day music sucks ass. And but the guy goes, it's like, so like if you take an artist and then transplant them 30 years back. Right. And play that music for people in that genre or whatever, how are they going to react to it?
They're going to all throw up.
Well, so the idea here was, and the part I had fun with was thinking about like all these different bands or artists. That's
exactly what I just did in my head.
And so like the one I was thinking about today was like you take Yes and like 1974, right?
Okay.
And they've done the Yes album and all that. You go back 30 years. So you take that to like the most progressive jazz band in the 1950s, right?
Okay.
And you play that for them, and they would go like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yep.
Like I've never heard anything like that, right? You take Nirvana, and so 91, you go back and you play Nevermind.
For Janis Joplin.
Or like the Sonics, right?
Yeah.
Garage bands in the night, or the who did Do Wah Diddy or whatever, Kingsman.
Okay.
You play that for them, they would go like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
Like, but and maybe be like, like just blown away by it. You come to today. You take the music that's being produced, like popular music being produced today.
Okay.
You take that back 30 years.
So you take Taylor Swift back to Diana Ross.
No, I mean, or like 94 is what we're talking about.
It has been that long. Okay.
Right. But again, this isn't meant to make us feel old, but you do that, or you take, Dua Lipa, or you take NBA Youngboy, and we transpose that like 30 years in the past, and you play that for that market. They have a complete context for it, right? It's not, they're not going, "What the fuck is that?" No. They're going, that's like say 94. Oh, that's like a Taylor Dane. Or it's like Whitney Houston or.
Right. That's what I was trying to get to.
That's like NWA. Like, it's just, it's gangster rap. Okay. That's what we've lost is like there's no more innovation.
Take the Wu-Tang Clan back to
right. I mean, well, even then, like you get into like the early minutia of hip hop.
Yeah,
would be like take like KRS-One and play it for Run DMC. They'd be like, "What the fuck is that shit?"
Yeah,
you do Wu-Tang, play it for Run DMC, or you take it to Grandmaster Flash.
That's exactly who you take it to.
Like, what the fuck?
This is what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, you take Tribe and take it to any of them.
With the jazz-infused hip-hop?
You take Tribe and play it for Quincy Jones in 1964.
Yeah, and he goes,
"Whoa." Yeah, like, I'm listening to the future, right?
Yeah, now you can't do that.
No, because it's just like, all they've done is just regurgitate the stuff that was popular in the past.
Instead of evolving?
Yeah.
Evolving is pushing buttons.
Yeah. But you still will stay within that context. But like that's what and it's like it is sad.
Music today. God damn it.
And this is and not just like the top artist, but even if somebody comes out and it's like, "Oh, there's this great new band," like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard that before." Or you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm not talking about, like low level, like, playing in like a 200 seater or something like that.
No.
But, if they're playing, And not one that is like an old band that's continuing to try and go. Like,
no.
So like Tool doesn't make that list, but if you took Tool back in mid '90s and you played that for Iron.
Shit, I was thinking.
Iron
When
Maiden.
did Rush start? The '60s.
Like maybe like 69, but like 70, 71.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So that late '90s Tool,
Yeah.
and you give it to Getty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
Or even like Neil would have been like, "What? I need to get on that."
He'd be like, "Wait a minute, where school did he go to? I gotta get back into this jazz."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what those guys would do. That's why I don't know that. I love hip hop. Don't get me wrong. Being able to play an instrument, though, it just hits different.
Yeah. Well, or tangibly create something.
Right.
And that, even though, I mean, and you could say that about Tribe, is that, Tribe used loops, but they started off with the traditional, you're mixing live.
Yeah, exactly.
And rhyming live over that. And then they figured out, if we put that into a DAT recorder.
Yes.
And all their shit was from vinyl records that they had collected. And they sped up, slow down, or whatever. Now, yeah, you just you have you have a computer program with preloaded sounds.
These guys were actually like having to mark records.
Yeah.
With speeds and switch them off to run. That's why the Beastie Boys were the way the Beastie Boys were, because they did everything, right? They had a DJ up there. All of them could play instruments.
Correct. Yeah.
And they spanned all the genres. And when you watched them live, you were like, Jesus Christ, these aren't just hip hop. These are fucking musicians.
Yeah.
Not just hip hop kids. That's why hip hop shows kind of suck in my eyes. Like, I don't want to see a dude stand up there and read poetry to a beat.
Well, even nowadays, there's so much repetition,
Yeah.
and that's where whether it was you were DJing or emceeing a party or something like that, like, because you would have to mix up beats, mix up the rhyme to keep the audience engaged.
Right.
And now, it's like these guys are
And
going,
it would still have to flow as you went.
But now you get people running out there for 3 minutes going, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
Right.
Gucci. Like, okay, but... And I get it. Like, pop music. And I was never a huge fan of, like, pop music.
Neither
once
was I.
once I got out of elementary school.
Right, yeah. Once I turned like 6.
I'm even probably giving myself too much credit there. But, like, once I had started shaving, it was like, I don't need to listen to Limp Bizkit. I really don't. But, but that's,
I'm trying to... My first... look at... Hey, Sammy. Yeah, I was all over the place up front when I started. It was like Iron Maiden and Michael Jackson and a Bon Jovi album, I think. And...
Well, that's also being like a product of the 80s, too. I mean, like, the
Beasties.
Even now, like, there was some shit music back then, but then there was also... You had...
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, there was so much, odd stuff happening, too, that nobody could categorize yet. And then it eventually flows into this.
Those, like, or The Cars.
Yeah.
Where are those bands at these days?
Well, most of the guys in the Cars are dead.
No, I mean bands like that, but today. We don't have kids out there that are Devo anymore.
Well, they are, but they get, I don't know. The only one that pops into my head are like the Lindas, that all girl punk group.
Oh yeah.
And but it's oddities now who are doing stuff like that. And then if they are in a band, they usually model themselves off of something that they know is going to be popular.
Right.
So then you get like even more emo trash. And
I figured
not all emo music is bad, but it's like
it would be easy. No, you know what? It's not easier because you can't filter out everything with your Spotify's and SoundClouds and social medias and TikToks. Like, it just gets drowned out by everything else.
Yeah, but I mean, if you and as we've stated before, like the venues aren't there anymore.
No, man,
there's no punk circuit anymore. There's no.
Yeah, and the Hi-Ho Lounge. Is that...
Yeah.
Just new ownership, I think.
Yeah.
We were all over the place in this one, but who cares?
Well, then there's like Saturn Bar too, like that.
Yeah.
Has that like little tiny stage, and then I remember last time I was in there, like, oh, who's playing tonight? And it was, like some like Evanescence type group, and you're going like
Siberia used to be.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That's the other one
they still play metal shows. Apparently, Southport Music Hall has taken over the mantle of wanting to have metal shows in the city, which is fine. I'm good for good on them. But no, you've got your House of Blues, your Fillmores, and that's not just here. Like the CBGBs of the world, that's a dying breed.
Right.
There are no more small venues for a band to cut their chops.
Well, and I was gonna say, what I remember, there was like one or two venues in every town. Like if you and your buddies put together like a punk band, that you could go in and you would play those like 6-band showcases every other Friday. Yeah. And then, you play 4 or 5 songs. 30-minute fucking set.
Somebody at one of these other bars is going to be like, I have a stage and I need somebody next Thursday.
Yeah.
How you want to play?
Yeah.
And then you can get 50 of your friends to go to the place.
Right.
And then they're there.
But there's no, I don't know of, and it might be because we are too old for that, but I don't know of a place where it's like, hey, I'm feeling this, like, let's go to this bar or this venue because they always have this style of music.
Frenchman and jazz down there, it's not even that anymore.
Right,
It's hard to walk down. Don't get me wrong, the city is full of fucking music. But if you walk down Bourbon, it's shit.
It's cover bands.
It's cover bands and chicks sing.
I mean, if you want to hear 8 different versions of Don't Stop Believin', sure.
Then go to Bourbon Street. Frenchman Street has all the only one of the places left that have the old school feel to it. So is that...
But even then, it's
that
like,
can't be part of the decline. Is it because everything is just so accessible now on a computer?
Yeah, and I think, and you think
just,
about
just old.
The expense of, I know how costly guitars and amps are, but
I don't personally play, but I have children that do.
Right.
And it's expensive.
Yeah.
It ain't a cheap hobby. Look at the Usos on TV yelling at each other with Sammy.
But that's also one, like, several years back, a couple times.
You've also arranged music and put it all together and all that stuff. I haven't.
Well, I don't know if I would. The basic level.
Go ahead.
I haven't like added horns to something, but.
Oh, come on.
But no, even nowadays too. It's what I was saying is that, like, a couple times I hit on a little bit of a rough patch, and I was like, well, I have a ton of guitars, and so take one to like a pawn shop, and they're like, I'll give you $50 for it. Like, this is a $700 guitar. Like, and they're like, well, I'll buy it for $50. Like, it's a $700 guitar.
Oh, you're gonna buy it?
Yeah,
sold.
Yeah, like. And then they're like, well, but and this was several years ago. The last time I tried that, the guy was like, nobody really comes in to buy guitars anymore, and they had like lined up on the wall. Yeah. And you're going like, well, that fucking sucks. But
now Guitar Center does it, so whatever.
Yeah, but God knows how much inventory they sit on for forever.
Who? The Guitar Center?
Yeah.
God, they told us once when we were shopping for a bass. Only for so long.
Yeah.
Only for so long.
And then it goes somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it just goes somewhere else.
But I guess the moral that we need more people out there.
We need more Quincy Joneses out there.
Yeah.
Straight. I need more musicians.
Yeah.
Musical masterminds.
Writing and producing.
The following segment has been brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. The Nerlin Nerds podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion, marketing by Brock Ryder, graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion, music by the Heisenberg Compensators.